So we were thinking of touching on romantic relationships, because when we're thinking about changing lanes and making big changes in our lives, I feel like a lot of people are like in relationships that they don't necessarily want to be in, or they're too scared to make that change, and leaving a romantic relationship is an incredibly terrifying thing.
Well, it's like what we were talking about in last week's episode about how you're really reliant on that other person, or you shouldn't be, but often you are. So then if you end up leaving that relationship, do you have that life built around that you don't need that person?
And while it's something that obviously you have complete control in and you can do it yourself, it's also something that you sometimes don't have control in, because sometimes you have to leave a relationship even of your own, like not of your own accord. I feel like.
Yeah. And I feel like it's really hard to, it's like, I went bungee jumping once, and it's like making the decision to jump off. When you go skydiving, someone's attached to the back of you and they jump you out the plane.
You don't have that choice, yeah.
But when you're bungee jumping, you physically have to stand there and jump off that platform.
Can they not push you?
No.
I love to know this because I'll never do it.
It's great fun. It is so much fun. But it made me feel like that was like, I'm the only one in control here. I am the one that has to do this.
Yes.
And this, again, the reason why it's such a good analogy is because unlike maybe you could just say, okay, well, it's like taking a step into the pool.
You're
you can
jumping
easily
into an abyss.
You can easily unstep. You could like take a step back. You could kind of pop your bum back up on the top. But this, it's like
once you've done it, you can't undo it.
You're not getting back up on there unless you can fly.
And I feel like a lot of women, like I was definitely in the position where for months I knew in my heart of hearts what I had to do. And I spoke to you guys, and I remember you both sitting there and saying to me, you know what you have to do. And I was still so much in denial that I was like, no, I don't. I'm genuinely asking you, what do I do?
You're waiting for the right answer from us to like validate your feelings.
Yeah. And no one can tell you. Everyone around you can say, break up with him, break up with him, break up with him, because you're not happy and he's not giving you what you want or whatever it is. But until you decide, I need to break up with him. And my sister had a similar thing. She was in a relationship that was making her unhappy, and like, no hate to the guy. He was lovely. He did make her very happy in a lot of ways. But whenever everyone around her was saying break up with him, I was like, you'll do it when you're ready. Even if that's in a year. Like, unless you're talking about babies or marriage, break up with him when you're ready to do so. If you're enjoying, please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, so we'd be super grateful. Anyway, back to the video. A lot of people, I think, stay in relationships because they're too scared to leave them.
Yeah. Because
they're scared of being alone, or they're scared of like what life is without this person. And it's so final. Like genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is get out of that car when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend and take the decision that I'm physically going to put my feet out of this car and shut the door on you and possibly never see you again for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like that is an incredibly hard thing to do.
It's why it sometimes takes so long to break up with people. In my first proper relationship, it took us like a year to actually break up, which I regret now, but everything happens for a reason, blah, 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 blah. But like, I stayed in that for way too long. Yeah. And I think we both knew it, but you're just stuck because you've had this whole life together, and like, how would you deal with it afterwards? And obviously, I don't know, it's not obvious, but I was at uni, we went through school, like you've done a lot of life things together, and then you're like, oh no, goodbye, never again. And it takes a lot to actually finalize that.
And like unentwining your families, unentwining your hobbies, your interests, your lives, like everything, friends, to try and like separate everything is a really, really hard thing to do. And then I felt like I was signing up for like weeks of heartbreak months of heartbreak.
You knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming, and it's hard to be like, I'm going to do this, do something that I know is going to make me incredibly unhappy.
Especially when he hasn't really, like your relationship.
When he's not cheated on you or not really done anything to make you hate him.
Yeah, when it's almost, a lot of people say it's easier if something bad's happened because you're like, okay, right, moving on. We can't go back anymore. You've done this now. If it's the Love Island thing of like, I could be happier, like, that's really hard.
So I know you've broken up with someone because we were there. You've broken up with someone. Is it very telling in my entire personality that I've only been broken up with and never broken up?
Oh, bless you.
To be honest, no, but like, what do you think is harder? Because I would argue that there's something to be said for being the one that breaks up with someone is really hard, because you're the one left with the guilt. You're left with did I make the right decision? If someone broke up with you, they've taken that opportunity away from you. You can't do anything about it. The decision's been made, and all you have to do now is get on and be like, they fucked up, they left me, oh, sucks to be them. But when you're the one that broke up with someone, you have to live with the fact that you've done that to someone, and you're the reason for someone's upset and for their heartbreak.
I think it also does depend on the type of person you are, though, because I'm sure that the people you're referring to maybe didn't care. Yeah, it does depend on what sort of relationship it was, right?
Like, I think like your ones 14 were quite, days and 2 months.
Yeah, they were quite short, right? I wasn't just being mean.
And then
I know the context.
But I do wish that more people, and part of the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I wish more people had the had the confidence to break up with someone, because there are so many people in unhappy relationships, and I'm not saying life has been simple and easy ever since. There's a lot of stuff to work through. There's a lot of sadness, and there's a lot, but there's also a lot of reconnecting with friends. There's a lot of personality growth to be had. There's a lot of realizing who you are and getting your sparkle back. I realized I'd lost my sparkle. I didn't put makeup on. I didn't dry my hair properly. I didn't curl my hair. I didn't go out and have drinks. The self-care was lost. The self-care was lost. We were just in this relationship that was just going round and round and round. And I will always love that person for the rest of my life. I believe that truly, not because I'm not over it. It was the right thing to do. Moving on, decision made.
You weren't right together doesn't mean
we
you
weren't
didn't
right
love him.
Yeah, just because we weren't right together doesn't mean I don't have an immense amount of love for that person.
Yeah.
But I wish that more girls and boys, but I can't speak for men. I am a girl. I wish that they had the confidence to know that they can be on their own. It's okay to be single.
There's a lot of people that I know from various parts of my life who have ended up with people and they're still with them now. And I'm like, are you sure? You guys are friends. That's great. But are you sure you actually want to be with them? And is it because you're 28 and worried that you want to have kids? Is it because you're financially tied to them? There's a lot of reasons not to leave somebody. And you might get stuck there and be like, you know what, we'll stay together for the kids. I heard that a lot of people's parents. And I think that's worse.
That's not the reason.
You should not stay together for the kids.
Because it's not good for the kids to live in an unhappy relationship where they can't see proper love.
Exactly. And you both have a better time separately. And not always. I know that divorce is not fun. But if you're doing that for the kids, not for yourself.
And people say it's better to have gone through the wrong door than to stay in the wrong room.
Yes.
But are you saying then that you don't believe in are you saying you do believe in soulmates, or you were saying that there's plenty of people out there?
I believe in my person, and I know that wasn't my person, because the way that we communicated, the way that our issues meant that it was this isn't my person, this is not my luck in life, that this is my person and it's this hard. I need to move on and find my person because it's not him.
Yeah.
And then one day I will look back and be like, this is why everything happened. This is why things worked out the way they are. And like we spoke about last episode, we're not in a time where we have to be in relationships. I've written down here, before 1928, all women got voting rights. Before 1975, you couldn't get a mortgage.
Yeah, it's 50 years this year, isn't it?
Before 1991, marital rape was legal, and before 1961 the contraceptive pill wasn't available. We are not living in this world anymore. You can leave your partner and you can be okay, and it's more important to be happy than to be with someone that is not making you happy, because there is so many girls deserve so much better than the relationships they're in, but they stay in shitty relationships with shitty people because they don't have the confidence that someone out there will treat them much better.
I agree. I think there also is a thing I wrote a note saying sunk cost fallacy. So that's basically I've spent enough time with this person. I spent 5 years with this person. I couldn't give that all up now. And I think it comes a lot with people of our age specifically of oh no, well, I want to have kids. And if I started again now, I don't have time. And that is a big worry. Genuinely, it's heavy on all of my friends. And lots of, I can't really think of many who are in bad relationships that I think they should break up and shouldn't have kids with them. But I'm sure internally there are a few. And I'm yeah, but the best time was yesterday, but the second best time is now. Yeah. So it's you can't just sit on
a decision that you know is wrong. And women have this intuition, I believe. I believe we have a sixth sense, and in your heart of hearts it's not right. The reason, yes, I was unhappy after my breakup. Yes, I spent a lot of time, but I didn't have that every single morning waking up feeling is this the person for me? Is this right? Is this wrong? Am I wasting time by being in this relationship? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I finally was okay, on to the next, moving on with my life, because I now have made the decision I knew I needed to make, and every single person around me all knew I'd made the right decision. There wasn't one person, even my mum, who still gets upset about what happened. She still cries about my ex because he was such a big part of our lives. I still cry about my ex. We all know that it was the right decision. There's not a single person that thinks I made a mistake. And you'd be surprised, these people in shitty relationships, that when you make that decision, you choose you choose that person so constantly. I'm choosing this person, I'm choosing this person. You need to choose yourself at the end of the day, and life moves on. Things get better and your life will be tenfold as good because you've chosen yourself and you've made that decision. And one day you'll look back and think, I'm so glad I left that person, because now look at my life. This person meets all of my needs. He's so kind, he's so fab. And I'm so glad that I made that decision way back when.